This is Kim Meyer, host of Choose to Rise. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
You're listening to Catch Up, an official news production of Public House Media.
Today is July 3rd, 2020, and it's time to catch up on the news that you need to know about.
Today we are helping you catch up on Ghinslaine Maxwell being charged in connection to the Epstein case.
Robert E. Lee statue becomes the new epicenter for the protest movement.
TV's Hugh Downs dies at age 99.
And, as always, we have a bit of good news for you.
We're your hosts, Madeline Kump
and Anna Herman. Welcome to Catch Up.
The FBI has arrested British socialite Ghinslaine Maxwell on multiple charges related to the serial sexual abuse of girls and young women by the late financier Jeffery Epstein. Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old. Audrey Strauss, acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, at a news conference Thursday. Maxwell faces charges that include transporting a minor for the purpose of criminal sexual activity and conspiring to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. She is expected to appear in U.S. District Court in New Hampshire on Thursday afternoon, Strauss said. Victims accused Maxwell of helping Epstein run a sex trafficking ring that victimized teenage girls. Maxwell has denied allegations linking her to Epstein's exploitation of girls and young women, including denials she made during sworn testimony for depositions in 2016.
Maxwell was taken into custody a year after Epstein was arrested and charged with sex trafficking minors and paying victims to recruit other underage girls. About a month after his arrest, Epstein died after being found unresponsive in his jail cell. His death was ruled a suicide. In months since Epstein died, federal agents have been keeping an eye on Maxwell. Agent Sweeney later said, quote, "And more recently, we learned she'd slithered away to a gorgeous property in New Hampshire, continuing to live a life of privilege while her victims live with trauma inflicted upon them years ago," end quote.
Prosecutors said Maxwell has been hiding on a 156-acre property acquired in an all-cash purchase in 2019 in Bradford, New Hampshire, noting her substantial wealth and lack of ties to the community, the document states. In short, Maxwell has 3 passports, large sums of money, extensive international connections, and absolutely no reason to stay in the United States and face the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence. This is a developing story. Please follow @Time4Catchup on social media to stay up to date.
Just a little over a month ago, the area around Richmond's statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee was as quiet and sedate as the statue itself. But since the May 25th police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the area has now a place for demonstrators protesting against police brutality and racism. The concrete pedestal of the statue is now covered by colorful graffiti, with many of the hand-painted messages denouncing police and demanding an end to systematic racism and inequality. Clashes between police and protesters gathered near the statue have become a regular occurrence. Some meet here to begin a daily protest march. Others come to gawk and take selfies.
In response to the protests, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam has pledged to take down the statue, but its removal has been at least temporarily blocked by a lawsuit, one of several complaints filed by people who want the monument to stay where it has stood since it was erected in 1890 in this former capital of the Confederacy. The statue is located on Richmond's Monument Avenue, a boulevard of stately homes that also features several other Confederate monuments targeted for removal.
On Wednesday and Thursday, work crews used giant cranes, harnesses, and power tools to remove imposing statues of General Stonewall Jackson and Navy officer Matthew Fontaine Maury from their pedestals as hundreds of people watching cheered. The statues were taken away after Mayor LeVar Stoney ordered the immediate removal of all Confederate monuments from city land. Several dozen Confederate symbols have been removed from public land in the United States in the past 5 weeks since the death of George Floyd at the hands of police sparked a nationwide protest movement.
Hugh Downs, a versatile and Emmy-winning broadcaster whose decades-long TV career ranged from anchoring ABC News 2020 to The Today Show to serving as Jack Parr's sidekick on The Tonight Show, has died at his home in Scottsdale, Arizona on Thursday. He was 99. Downs, who retired in 1999, was essentially there for the very start of commercial television, serving as the announcer for the children's show Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, and comedy legend Sid Caesar's Caesar's Hour in the 1950s. In 1957, when Parr succeeded Steve Allen as host of The Tonight Show, Downs became the announcer. The next year, Downs launched his run as the original host of the game show Concentration.
Downs was not involved with the development and launch of 2020 in 1978, recalling in an interview with Television Academy's Archives of American Television that the premiere was, quote, hideously disastrous and pummeled by critics. After the first episode, ABC News president asked Downs to take over as an anchor to fix the show. Downs said he had wanted to do a show like 60 Minutes, and the opportunity, quote, fell out of the sky on me. 60 Minutes created the atmosphere that allowed us to flourish as a competing news magazine, end quote, Downs said. Walters joined the program the year after its debut and became Downs' co-host in 1984. Downs, with his deeper voice and soothing persona, remained with the program until his retirement.
Downs won a pair of Emmy Awards for the program Live from Lincoln Center and hosting the PBS talk program Over Easy, which premiered in 1977 and was aimed at older viewers. Guinness World Records once recognized Downs for having appeared in more hours of U.S. television, roughly 10,000, than anyone else, a record later broken by Regis Philbin. Downs' wife, Ruth Shaheen Downs, died in 2017 at the age of 95. The two had been married since 1944.
And as always, we have a bit of good news for you today. 70-year-old Rosario Del Real was pushing a cart around a Chicago neighborhood, which is hard work for anyone on a hot summer day. But now, thanks to some sweet customers and the kindness that went viral, he may finally have the opportunity to enjoy retirement. Until this month, he had been working as a carpenter from home. Due to an injury, he had been forced to take a break from his profession, so he has since pushed a refrigerator cart through the streets selling paletas, which are Mexican-style ice pops, to his neighbors.
It may have been Father's Day, but for Don Rosario, it was just another day at the office, pushing his paleta cart around the neighborhood. Oscar Gonzalez and his friend Victor Dominguez were hosting a Father's Day barbecue for their families and invited Don Rosario to join them. Everyone bonded very quickly, and before long, they decided to buy all of the paletas in Don Rosario's cart so that he could go home out of the heat and rest.
One of their friends recorded a video of the act and posted it on TikTok. The video went viral, and the family harnessed the publicity and set up a fundraiser to help him retire. The initial goal was to raise $10,000 for their new friend, but generous strangers have contributed more than $62,000 to the GoFundMe campaign so far. What a heartwarming story.
Thanks for catching up on today's news with us. I'm Madeline Cum.
And I'm Anna Herman. Please be sure to catch up with us again on Monday.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts.
We appreciate you listening to Catch Up. For even more content, follow Catch Up Digital on social media. Just search for @TimeForCatchup.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the stories we covered today. Just use the hashtag #PassTheCatchup on social media.
Catch Up is an official production of Public House Media.